He transferred over to boxing. Why is that relevant? It's relevant because to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's going to have to transfer over to wrestling. He's going to have to know one dimension of wrestling, and only one. He does not have to know a lifetime of work. He does not have to have been doing this since he was 6 and 7 and 8 years old. He just has to know how to stop a takedown, and more specifically, a single leg takedown. I still maintain, and I still would fully admit to you that that is a big ask of somebody to do over the course of a training camp. A training camp is not very long. I will concede that to you. But when I looked at the evidence that he was able to transfer sports and go over a half of an hour with a guy who walked over Canelo, and that guy just beat Triple G, and he could go a half of an hour with him in a sport he'd never done, wearing gloves he never even owned, let alone put on, until training camp. I just think that there's some interest there. I remember when that fight was coming up, a lot of Conor supporters said, well, it's not that big of a transfer of sport. He's a striker. This is a striking sport. He's been boxing or some elements of boxing for many years. That wasn't a very good argument. It showed a lack of understanding. But that perception, and perception being reality, particularly when you're battling something in the media like a fight promotion, is relevant and fair game. But if you're using that argument, Conor has also been wrestling and using elements of wrestling and spending just as much time on his wrestling as it pertains to mixed martial arts as he did in boxing as it pertains to mixed martial arts. It's a wash. It's even. So what do you do with that info? What is it I'm trying to tell you? I don't know. But there are many guys whose careers come where 2 + 2 does not equal 4. They just come, they defy a lot of logic, and the outcome is not what you think it's going to be. John Jones is one of those guys who defies logic. When I speak on John's career, it will often sound like I'm coming from a negative standpoint, when it's not my intent at all. Athletes are told from day one they must sacrifice, they must be dedicated, they must want it, they must work hard. That's all really good advice. But there are some guys who will come along that don't have to do any of those things and can make it to the top. They're rare, but they happen. You guys remember Dennis Rodman? Dennis Rodman was this scumbag basketball playing knucklehead that would go out of his way to make sure the media caught him partying and staying up till 4 and 5 in the morning at the clubs on the morning of the NBA playoffs, then going out and doing great in the game and ultimately winning championships when he was at the Bulls. This became his shtick and his gimmick. He marked out for his own gimmick, so you know how that ended in later life. Not great. We are whoever we pretend to be. He went out of his way to pretend he was a scumbag. But the point is, he did still play in those games, and he did still start, and he did still put up great numbers, and he did still win championships. There are just some guys. There's just some guys where the basic rules don't apply, where less is more. There are just some guys like that.